Hi, welcome. So grab your ball and join me on the mat. We're going to lie ourselves down. We're going to place the ball between the knees and find a comfortable position to begin with. So thinking about relaxing the shoulders, settling down onto the mat, and your hands will rest down by your side. We're going to start with some pelvic tilts. Imagining the pelvis is like a bowl of water. We're going to tilt the bowl of water onto the mat behind us. You should feel your lower back gently pressing into the mat, and then you're going to return to your start position. So we're going to marry this up with the breath. When you breathe out, you're going to tilt the pelvis backwards, feel the lower back touching the mat, and then release, come back to your starting point. Again, we breathe and we tilt, so we're moving the pelvis and the lower back to begin this warm up. Everything else should stay quite still. Tilt the pelvis, feel the lower back touching the mat, and return. From this point we've got 4 more, so we're going to breathe and roll the pelvis backwards, and then return. Feeling the lower abs gently hugging towards us. The weight of the pelvis goes across and backwards. Last one. We're going to hold this position here, and we're going to start squeezing the ball using the inside thighs. So as you breathe, squeeze and then return. We're going to go for 8. So we're on 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Hold and then release. Let all the tension flow out of the body. Take a breath, and then we're going to think about moving into our bridge. So we're going to tilt the pelvis. We're going to start to press into our feet and lift the bum slightly. We're going to roll the spine away from the mat, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling, finding our shoulder blades. We're going to hold the pelvis, or imagine we're holding the pelvis as still as possible, while we bring ourselves back down to the mat with control. This is our bridge. So the knees will be focused on keeping the ball where it is. You'll be activating your inside thighs. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, try a pelvic floor lift. Turn the pelvis backwards. Press into the feet. Lift the bum slightly. Roll the spine away from the mat up into your bridge. Again, focus on bringing the spine back down with control, and try bringing the pelvis down last. That might be where you need to concentrate the most. A couple more. Breathe in, exhale. Tilt, lift the pelvic floor if we can bring that in. Rolling the spine away from the mat up into your shoulders, and then soften back down with control. Thinking about those hips being the last thing to come onto the mat. Relaxing, breathe, and as we go again, we're going to tilt, press into the feet, lift the hips all the way up towards the ceiling. You're pushing them up without overarching your lower back. Softening back down onto the mat, keeping your neck and shoulders rested. Breathe in once more. Tilt the pelvis, roll it backwards, lifting the spine away from the mat. Hips as high as you can manage. And we return with control to the floor. And we're down to the mat. We're going to take the ball between our legs, pop it to the side. Bring the legs together and gently roll them over to the right hand side. Feel a little stretch through the waist. Just moving the pelvis left to right. Bring them back across the middle and then over to the left. So just getting a little stretch and moving the pelvis in a different direction. Over to the right and then over to the left with control. Theme of today's class. Back into center, and then we're going to come over onto our sides. So I'd like you to have your head resting on your arm with your legs straight and have the ball in front of you. We're going to try and keep the hips stacked for this next sequence. So you might notice there may be a feeling of wanting to wobble backwards and forwards, and we're going to try and control that. When we breathe out, I'd like you to press your hand into the ball and lift your leg. And then release the tension in the ball, lower the leg back down. So we're now having to concentrate on quite a few things. As you exhale, press the ball and lift the leg. And then inhale, return and soften. Breathe in. Exhale, press the ball and lift the leg. Now the leg only goes as high as the top line of your body, so you're thinking pelvis, shoulders. Got a couple more from this point. Concentrating on that balance feeling. Trying not to wobble too much at the top. Don't worry if this is your first time doing this and you feel a little bit uncoordinated. The more you practice this video, the better this one will be. As you exhale, pulling the tummy gently inwards, lifting the leg. We're going to hold this next one. Keep a little bit of pressure in the ball in front of you as stability. Touch the toe down on the mat. Lift it up in a little rainbow and try and touch the mat behind you. This is where you're going to be challenging your hip stability and that coordination. So gently sweeping it over left to right. So we're on 4 and 5 and 6. This is a nice slow movement. 7, should be feeling it coming into the hips or the bum. 2 more. Gently forward and behind. And then you're going to bring that leg in and we're going to rest from that point. Hand goes down on the mat in front of you. I'd like you to bring yourself up into a seated position. Stretching the legs out. If you feel a little bit tight in the legs, you might prefer to have a bent knee position. If we can sit tall on top of our sit bones, great. We're going to place our hands out to the side and take it into a side bend. With one hand reaching up to the ceiling and bending over the body. Feel a stretch from your armpit to your hip. And then bring it down, alternating arms. The other hand reaches up and we bend over the body. Good. On this one, we're going to have a little pause. You're going to sweep the hand up and over. And we're going to breathe in nice and deep, open it up through the ribs. Exhale, soften and swap sides. Hand goes up, reach across, stretch and breathe. And then place it down. 2 more. Reach up and over. It's a lovely stretch for the waist. 1 more time. Good. And relaxing. I'm going to turn to face this eye so we can see how the next is going to look. You can stay as you are if you want. We're going to keep the same leg position but sit nice and tall. Place the hands behind the back of the head, lacing the fingers together. Now if you struggle to sit upright in this position, I would prefer you to lean slightly forward than round and go backwards. We're going to start twisting through the waist. So when you breathe in, you're going to breathe in nice and wide into the ribs. As you breathe out, I'd like you to turn to the left, move your waist first. So move those ribs and the head will follow. Once you get to the furthest point, you're going to try and reach the crown of your head like there's a piece of string up towards the ceiling. And then come back into your start position, facing forward. Over to the right, moving your waist muscles first, shoulders and the head follow. Get to the furthest point and then lengthen that spine upwards. Come back into centre. I'd like you to feel this ideally between the shoulder blades. Some lovely postural muscles there. Twist and then reach up. So as I said, if it's a bit of a struggle to maintain that upright posture, I'd prefer you to lean forward. Come back to forward facing, 2 more. Twist through the waist muscles. Reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. It's only a small movement this. Into centre, over to the right. Reach. Good. Into centre, looking forward, take the hands behind the head. Roll the shoulders and relax. We're coming over onto the other side now, so bring the ball with you. Lower down onto the mat. Find a comfortable position that you can balance in, with your legs being long and the hand out in front of the ball. We're going to breathe in as we did on the other side And as we exhale, I'd like to lift your leg and press the ball. And then inhale, release the pressure, lower the leg. Exhale, lift and squeeze. Inhale, return. Think about balancing on your side here. And then we're thinking again about our breath. All of it ties in. So concentrate on your execution of your breath and then lifting the leg. 5 more from this point. Press the ball and lift the leg. Keep the hips as still as you can manage. If they feel a bit wobbly, play about with that leg position. Don't let it go too high. Possibly bring it forward if it's a bit unstable. It might be too far behind you, possibly. We've got 1 more. And we're holding here. A little bit of pressure in the ball. Touch the mat in front of you. Over to the back for those rainbow shapes. Over to the front. Touch the mat and sweep behind. Take it at your own pace. Keep focusing on how it feels within the body. We've got 4 more. Nice and controlled movements. 2 more. And last one. Bring it in, soften down. Good. Taking a pause, we're going to come up and we're going to bring ourselves over onto our bellies. So when you're ready, lower yourself down onto your front. Your hands out in front into a Y position. Now I'm going to have my head up so that you can hear me, but I encourage that you have your head rested on the mat for the first part of this sequence. You're going to concentrate on feeling relaxed through the lower body. So we don't want to feel any tightness in the back of the legs or the bum to begin with. Breathe in once more in this position. As we breathe out, you're going to lift your left arm away from the mat and then you're going to return. We're alternating. So you're going to take your right hand away from the mat and then bring it back down. Try and keep your shoulders and neck relaxed. So it's a slow, controlled movement, focusing on using the back of the shoulders to do the movement. Lovely, we've got 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. Bring your hands back down, relax the shoulders, take a moment to pause. We're going to do the exact same movement now, but lifting our head away from the mat. Breathe in. When you breathe out, lift your head, pull the shoulders away from your ears, keep your head in this lifted position, and we're going to do the same arm movement. So lift one arm and lower down. Lift the other and lower down. It's a small movement, letting the limbs feel quite heavy. Hopefully feeling it across the middle upper back area. 4 more. Keep breathing through it. Focus on the muscles supporting the spine during this movement. Good, last one. And relax. Bring it all back down and we soften. Your hands are going to come underneath your armpits out to the side. We're going to go into breaststroke. So if anybody's familiar with the breaststroke in swimming, it's essentially what we're going to try and mimic on the mat. Bring your head up so you're sort of floating or on that last rib. Bring your head and your chest up, pull your shoulder blades into your back pocket. Lift the hands away from the mat. Reach the arms forward and a big circle around. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and reach forward again. Breathe in through here. So if you can do breaststroke, you're trying to do it on the mat. 2 more. Lovely big circular movements in the shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Last one. Good. Hands down onto the mat. Rest your head to the side. Take your palms facing upwards to the small of your back with your elbows softened down by your side. We're now going to stretch through the chest. We're going to lift the head, lift the chest, straighten the arms and slide them down our back towards our feet. And we're going to bend, bring the hands to the small of the back, relax your elbows down by your side. Breathe in. And as we go again, straighten the arms, slide them towards your feet, feel your chest come away from the mat. You should feel the back muscles all engage, and return and relax. Hands to the small of your back, elbows relax down by your side. One more time. Breathe, stretch the arms, feel the back muscles engage, and return. Bringing the hands under your armpit, we're going to push ourselves up onto our knees. And then we're going to come back into child's pose. Rest in here. Nice. Bring yourself forward. And then I'd like you to bring your right leg underneath you, stretch your left leg away behind. This is our pigeon pose. So you can stay up in this position if it feels quite nice, or if you'd like to take this stretch a little bit further, lower down onto forearms or lower down completely onto the floor. Hold here for a big inhale. Soften on the exhale. Bring yourself up. And we're going to tuck the toes, reach the leg back, pull the left leg underneath us to swap. So we're reaching the right leg behind, left leg's under us. We're going to find pigeon pose on this side. Lower down if you want to deepen the stretch, or stay where it feels comfortable for you. Take a nice big deep breath in. And on the exhale, soften into the stretch. Come up out of your pigeon pose, bring the knees together and the ball onto the mat. We're going to find a deep child's pose. So separate the knees and pop your hips back onto your feet. The ball is going to be out in front, and place both hands on top of it. Bring yourself down to the mat, trying to relax your head between your arms. Breathe in nice and deeply here. As you exhale, see if you can soften into the stretch a little bit more. Nice. Roll the ball over to the left-hand side of your mat. Place your right hand on top. Drop your head between your arms and focus on breathing into the ribs. So a lovely big breath, expand the rib cage, soften into it. Push your hips back onto your feet. And swap, taking it over to the right. Left hand goes on top, pressing your hips away from your hands. Lovely big stretch through the ribs here. Head between your arms. Take the time to breathe into it. Nice, coming back into center. Pop the ball to the side and bring yourself into an all fours position. Roll your shoulders into your back pocket and try and have your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. We're going to take our left hand off the mat, reach it towards the ceiling. When we breathe out, we're going to take that hand underneath our right armpit, twist and reach. Breathe in, open up. Exhale, reach under, bend in your right elbow so you can take that hand further. Inhale, open up, stretch the chest. Exhale, thread the needle and reach. One more time. Exhale, rotate. And then place that hand on the mat, ready to swap sides. Shoulders into back pocket. Right hand off the mat towards the ceiling. When we exhale, we bend the left elbow, we reach the hand under. We inhale, open up, get a stretch through the chest. Exhale, we rotate and reach. 2 more times. And last one. Lovely. Good. Bring the hand back onto the mat. Grab your ball and place it behind your left knee. Squeeze the foot in towards your bum. Saving the hardest bit for last. So you're staying balanced on your hands and one knee. Lift the leg towards the ceiling. Squeeze the bum. Bring the knee back down and then press that heel up to the ceiling. Nicely done. So you should start to feel back of your leg and a little bit of your bum come into play here. 4 more times. 3. Concentrate on that hip and that upper body position. We don't want to be sunk over to the other side. Hold and then lower back down. Rest. 6 fire hydrants. We're going to lift the knee out to the side. So open that knee up and then bring it back down. So concentrate now. Don't take it too high that you feel like you're leaning. You want control in the body for this one. 2 more reps. Last one. And rest. Good. Bring in the ball over onto the other leg. Place it behind the knee. Reset your posture. Shoulders back and down. Think about balancing on your hands and one knee. We're going to lift that leg up towards the ceiling. Squeeze and lower down. Breathe out and squeeze up. And bring the knee down. Focus and concentrate on the last couple of reps here. So this is slightly harder than anything we've done earlier in the class. 2 more times. Last one. Hold for a moment. Bring it back down. Have a little pause. And we're going to take it out to the side for the fire hydrants. Lift up for 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. Excellent. Take the ball out behind the knee, sit back onto your feet. Bring yourself then into a seated position. To finish, we're going to take it into a little bit of a spine twist. Hug your right leg in towards you. Take it across the other leg. A nice little squeeze inwards. Take your right hand behind, look over your shoulder, and use the opposite hand to pull the leg in towards you. Should feel a nice little twist through the spine and through the outside hip. Untwist, and we're going to swap sides. Pulling the left leg in and across the body. Hugging it in nice and tight. Then use your left hand to sweep over and look behind you. Hug the other leg. Hugging the leg in towards you. Good. And untwisting, and we will finish there. Well done.